Welcome, everyone, to the latest edition, the Week 10 edition. We're going into Week 10 of Hammer Time, the only exclusive podcast show, YouTube show in the world dedicated to our Pittsburgh Maulers. You know, the Pittsburgh Maulers that are about one win away from making the playoffs. Unbelievable journey we've had. New look. People that have followed, I took a week off, so I figured I'd freshen up the look a little bit here. So, any comments, please let me know. Three things. We're still going to do the same format. Maulers create turnovers. Simple as this: 4 interceptions, right? Bunch of sacks, but they create turnovers. Tez with 2, Gilbert had 1. They just create turnovers. This defense is opportunistic every single down. Uh, they can create a turnover. This defense is legit. You should see a bunch of guys on the All USFL. I think Tarp should get consideration. I think Tordenen should. Hopefully they do a second team. Eli Walker should. Those are just safeties, right? Gilbert should. Gibson has had a solid season as a second corner, right? Boogie and Olive should both be on the list, if you ask me. Foster has had his moments. Tizino has been great. I'm just letting you know, this defense, and if I forgot anyone, it's because there's so many names to remember going into a show. This defense has been solid the entire season. Their lows is not because of the defense. The lows on this team is not the defense. Second thing, special teams continue to be special. Even the USFL official communications, I believe Darren runs this. Special teams for the Maulers continues to be special. This is an 83-yard bomb by Matt Mangle's second longest punt in modern USFL history. It was a bomb. The Mangle bombs have been all year. I had to show Mark Hole, most underrated coach in the league, linebackers coach, Tez, defensive player of the year, and probably the best special teams unit in the USFL with Blewett, Mangle, Simmons, and Henny, the return of excellence. And they got the kickers. Loving Goods played well. Mangle, 83-yard bomb. The highlights, right? Blewett went 4 for 4 field goals. Henny leads the league in punt return, 17.8. There's only 5 guys that have taken enough punts to even qualify for it. But he is so far in front of the other one, he can probably get negative yards for the next week. We don't want it because we need that W. We'll get into that more. But Henny is going to be the punt return leader. Like, unless someone has 700 yards this week or 4, I don't know the exact number, but Henny is going to be the punt return leader. Josh Simmons tops in kick return yards and second in average. And his second in average is a guy that returned half as many kicks as he has. He's averaging 31 yards. If he's getting the ball at the 5, we're getting the ball at the 36. I'll take it. With his offense. I'll take anything right now, right? But the special teams continue to be special. Number 3, Tizino should be defensive player of the year. 87 tackles, 48 solo. You see all the numbers. 2 interceptions last week, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recovers, 5 pass breakups, a touchdown. Superhero. I made a YouTube short. Go check it out on the USFL Network YouTube channel. Tizino has had a great season. Absolutely great season. He's carrying that. Actually, he's gotten the turnover hammer, the Mauler hammer, 5 times this year. We're only 9 games. It's every other game, right? Tizino should be defensive player of the year. I know people would throw out the Ginda thing. He's got more tackles, but Tizino has been the best player on the best defense for the entire year. Tizino has just – this week he didn't get a lot of tackles. Ginda passed him out, right? But it was all in the pass breakups. He was creating turnovers like he does on multiple levels. He'll get the tackles, right? He'll get the tackles for loss. When Boogie and Olive create the lanes, he's hitting those open lanes and hitting the running back, right? He is wrapping up those tackles. But this week he stayed back, and Josh Love the defensive line was good enough to get to the quarterback without extra people, so they dropped him back in coverage, and Tizino succeeded in that. Tez should be the defense player of the year. Absolutely. And I hope he has a huge game against the Generals because everyone will be watching. And he should solidify himself as the front runner. So now we're going to go to the point when I got to talk with my boy Boogie. He was gracious to join me on Sunday afternoon. I hope you enjoy it. I am now joined by the defensive tackle, my all USFL pick, Boogie Roberts. What's going on, Boog?
Thank you for having me, Webb. What's good?
Not much, man. Big win this week over the Panthers. What clicked with the defense? It just seemed like you guys took it up another notch this week.
I really feel like it was a win or go home situation, and everybody had that mindset from the front seven to the back end. And once we're all rolling and we're clicking and we're on the same page, there's no defense in this league that can match our intensity and our energy. And we feed off turnovers. As you seen, once we got one, it just kept rolling in. So that was a point of emphasis. We hadn't been doing well in 2-minute situations the last few weeks. Like right before the half, we were letting up a few scores, and that was a point of emphasis this week. And once we got that interception, it just you could feel the joy around the team because the hard work we put in during practice came to light during the game.
You talk about the turnovers, and Horton said that in his presser. You guys talked about turnovers in 2-minute situations the entire time. What's the key when you now going towards the Generals in Week 10? A team that doesn't like to throw the ball a lot. They like to run a little bit, but forcing turnovers. What's the mindset going into this week? I know it's early in the week.
Well, yeah, they're still trying to find their identity. It's crazy. They brought back a lot of their core guys, but to see the transition from this year is kind of strange. But it's still us versus us. It starts with us. The best thing about it is we control our own destiny. So we know they have a great back over there in Vito, his counterpart Trey Williams. So we just have to bring our A game and stop the run. We want to force them to become a passing team, and to do that, we have to play well on first and second downs.
All right. What's it like now that you guys share Canton, right? Like you
Yeah.
guys see each other all the time. Now the biggest game of the year, the winner probably is in the playoffs. What's that kind of like circumstance like playing in Canton all the time, seeing these guys all the time?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Me and Vito, we stay in the same apartment complex. So when I came home from the game yesterday, he was coming off the elevator. I tried to give him a handshake. He like, man, give me a hug, man. He hugged me, told me congratulations. It's kind of like a brotherhood, until we play each other. Like I'm going to the game, I'm rooting for them. The Canton Hub, we like to root for each other. When we were on the road and we were walking off Ford Field, they were walking on to play, and they were telling us good luck and good win and things like that. So it's kind of like a brotherhood until we get in between those lines. I still can't stand them. We haven't beat them yet. I really, really can't stand them. They walk around with a chip on their show. They walk around like kind of cocky.
Yep.
Like their poop doesn't stink a little bit, but it's okay, because they've earned that right. They had a heck of a year last year, and they have some great players, but we're gonna drop that hammer on them this week.
Talking about a year, what a difference a year makes. What has been the biggest thing with this defense to go from last year? You guys were really good, and this year, like you said earlier, you guys are the top defense in the league, like no questions asked. What has clicked?
Breakers.
Breakers.
Wow. I woke up to that this morning. I couldn't believe it, but I'll just leave that for another day. I can't believe it. I just let them have it. You got it.
You said Toby too. Like Toby's been on talking about the Generals having the best defense too.
But that's just Toby. He talks a lot. He likes to, that gets him riled up. He likes to put that out there in people's minds. But don't get me wrong, he's an amazing player. We play the same position. So, there's always that competitive spirit me and him have. But I have nothing but love for him. He's kind of like a big brother to me, and I always watch his game. And he's an amazing player, amazing guy. But we definitely have the best defense this year. I'll give the edge to the Maulers. Don't get me wrong, they have some good players over there. They definitely do. Him, Chris Orr, that D-line as a unit is amazing. But it's definitely the Maulers. So when he's seen that, he decided to chime in and give his 2 cents. But I don't care. It's Maulers or nothing. I don't care what Toby has to say. I don't care what Mr. Breakers have to say. Everybody falls in line after us.
I agree 100%. Go back to you. What has your game? Where have you developed the most? Where you've turned it up? Yeah,
I didn't even answer your question though about the defense though, Webb. I skipped that because that was your original question, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we got sidetracked.
Oh, you good?
I would say it's just year 2. coming in, with the same defensive coordinator, the same verbiage and the same language, hearing those same words, we were able to hit the ground running in year two. We brought a lot of guys back from
Yeah.
last year. I thought some guys should have got opportunities, but a lot of guys came back, and with the same leader in Jaron Horton, we were just able to play faster. We trust each other. We trust that the person next to us is going to do their job, their 111th. And then when it all comes together, like I said, it just clicks, man. And I feel like that's been the best jump from year one to year two, just knowing the defense and being able to play faster and not out there thinking.
Awesome. What about you personally? How have you turned up your game? Because last year you were solid, but this year, like I said, you're all USFL. If you're not on the list, it's a disgrace. You've eaten up space. You've penetrated. It got into the backfield. Tackles for loss. You saw it on you and Ginda, right? San Jose
Yeah,
State
yeah, yeah.
United on the graphic. Um, what is taking you to the next level?
It's just a testament to the work I put in the off season. Losing 20 pounds. Just being able to want to play faster and things like that. And last year, my mindset wasn't where it was this year. Last year I'm like, okay, I'll just hold up my blocks, do my job as a nose guard in the defense, make sure my linebackers have great years. But this offseason, I was like, screw that. I'm gonna go make my plays because I know I'm a dog. You get what I'm saying? So um I'm like, I'm still gonna do my job and make my plays when they come to me within the defense, but just a change in mentality of just attacking, firing off the ball, just being a dominant run stuffer and a pass rusher. Just wanted to work on my game, and that's what I focused on this whole off season. And then also, like a lot of guys last year, I know I got a lot of attention for off the field stuff, and people would tell me like, "Congratulations, what you want to do after football?" Blah blah blah. But I had to make people remember, I'm still a football player first right now, and I'm still very good at it. So just came in with a chip on my shoulder, wanted to show the guys. They would be like, "Oh, Mr. Hollywood or movie star." No, 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 no. I'm gonna beat your tail in between these lines until the whistle was blown, and that's just been how I've approached this year. And as you see, the results speak for themselves.
All right. Your opinion: the best offensive line in the league. Who is it?
As a unit,
Yeah.
uh, I'll go Birmingham as a unit, followed by quick New Jersey. They've had some injuries, but just they're coached very well
Yeah.
over there by Coach Smith. Those guys, I've seen it with my own eyes how they communicate and work together. Only reason I didn't put them first is because there's been a shuffle like every week. They're
Yeah.
shuffling guys in, people are going down. But if they were healthy, they would be number one. But as for number one, I'll go with Birmingham.
Talking about improving as the year goes on. What do you think about your offense? I know you guys have gone through a little struggle throughout
Yeah.
the entire year as the defensive unit, the best in the league. What's it like playing with an offense that's kind of lagging behind a little bit? They've grown the entire year, obviously.
Yeah.
They're way better than week one. But as a defensive unit that's kind of standing out, what's it like being on that sideline?
I'd be lying if I said, "Oh, it's not tough,"
Yeah.
or I'll just be lying if I said it doesn't get frustrating sometimes, But those guys, they work hard, and there's a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. And it just takes a little bit more time to click. Last year was a revolving door at quarterback, as you know, and then this
Yep.
year coming in with some new pieces, a whole new quarterback room. It just takes time with no preseason in this league, and training camp is 2 weeks, so it just takes time. And certain things, like wine, it ages with time. So our offense is getting better, and as a defense, we just take it as a challenge to hold them down. We got their back no matter what. We just got to hold the fort down till they get it clicking. Because as you can see, when they're rolling, they're rolling.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah,
what
they're
I'm
good.
saying? So
Yeah.
if we can just get in the big dance next week, it's every man's game and any given Sunday. So it's just on the defense to hold them down and stop them because it's our job to not let the team score as many points. But we got to go out there and three and out, three and out, three and out every time. That's our job. So our job is just to give the offense as much time as possible.
All right. Now talking about you, you're an LA guy, went to San Jose State, bigger
Gotcha.
cities. Now you're in Canton, a little small town, Midwestern town. What's it like culturally for you?
It's so different. I stay in the heart of downtown, and I remember for like the first month, I'd never seen anybody walking outside, not one person. I still don't see people out here. I don't know where people hide out here in Canton. I don't know, but on game days they show up. They got their Mauler stuff on. I don't know where they come from, but they're here somewhere. So it's just been a culture shock. But when I go to restaurants and when you do encounter with other people, they're so nice.
Yep.
They're sweet. They're welcoming. They've embraced the USFL. They tell us how happy they are that we're here and things like that. So it's been an amazing experience. The people are nice. The food's good. I'm a fat boy, so the food's good here. And I don't have any complaints. It's just a different atmosphere just because I don't see people. I don't know where they are, but they're here.
I got you. And the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Yes.
You love it?
Oh, I love it. It's just what a great opportunity that
Yeah.
the league has afforded me. That's what I want to do after I get done playing football. I got my degree in sports journalism. I kind of want to be a Renaissance man or like Snoop Dogg or Shaq. You just like Boogie's on wrestling, Boogie's in Papa John's commercials, Boogie's. You get what I'm saying? I just don't want to be boxed in. So I want to act. I want to do broadcasting to keep me around the game, and that just lets me go get live reps every week. I talk to Daryl Johnson, aka Moose, all the time, and I send him my clips, and he just tells me how amazing I am, and just keep working because it just takes reps, just like in football. It's a new field for me, but just takes reps, and I can see myself just improving, and I'm just very thankful to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show for allowing me to host every Monday, and who knows what the future holds, man.
So, are you a Browns fan now?
They make me be a Browns fan. I'm not, but that's all we talk about is Brown stuff. So Browns, Guardians, Cavs.
Yeah.
So by default, I guess I'll be a Browns fan.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I know you guys are busy. Good luck next week. Big game, huge game. I'm rooting for you, obviously. And thank you for always supporting. And man, you got a fan for life in me, man.
You already know, Webb. And I just want to also say thank you. You take the time out of your day to cover this team, literally cover this team and get to know the guys and out of your own personal life. I know you work and things like that, but for some reason, we gravitate around you, Webb, because we appreciate you and we love you. And I appreciate all the hard work you're doing. It doesn't go unnoticed. The guys notice everything you're doing. You're always rooting for the Maulers, win or loss. You've been our number one fan, and I appreciate you, brother. You got a fan of me for life as well.
Man, you guys make it to that final week in Canton. I'm coming up. I already got
we got to get
and everything.
If we gotta put $10 in a bucket for everybody to get Webb down here for free, because you deserve it. You shouldn't have to pay $1 to come to the game. Appreciate you, my guy.
Thanks, Boog.
All righty, late, Doc. Peace.
Bye. Man, Boogie's great, and as he told us, it's on to the Generals. Win and in, get beat and get out. It's the Battle of Canton. He talked about the hub mates. He talked about what they expect. He talked to him and Toby going back and forth. The vets on both teams, the leaders on both teams. So we're ready for the Generals. Who to watch out for? 3 guys. The bowling ball, obviously, thick thighs, save lives. He's got all the T-shirts. He does a little bit of everything. He catches the ball out of the backfield. There's Vito Victor. He made a touchdown pass. He threw a touchdown pass this week. Vito is definitely someone that you need to look out for because Vito, this past week, he had 11 carries, 51 yards. Doesn't sound great, but he had 2 touchdowns, right? His long was 9, so everything was kind of within that 5-yard range most of the time, the 4 or 5-yard range. That's dangerous, especially when you got a quarterback like DJ, and now you're getting Trey Williams. Vito is definitely someone that Boogie, Olive, and the defensive line, Tez, and Foster, and Dale Warren when he gets out there, and the corners, and Tornado and Tarp coming up and helping up front. That is someone that they need to take down. They cannot let Vito. If they can take Vito out of the game, they should be all right because I believe in our corners and our safeties enough to cover their wide receivers. And then you've got to watch out for DJ. DJ will take off at any moment, and you know that. So they almost have like a 3-headed monster in the backfield for running backs. Toby Johnson. Toby's like Boogie, except Toby's got more tackles. Toby might be the only defensive tackle that is better than our Boogie and Olive. Toby is a force to be reckoned with. His best, my favorite thing about Toby is he tells you exactly how he sees it. Even on Twitter, where he's showing pictures of his jersey being ripped because people are being holding him. Toby is a force and is a Generals legend, right? He is definitely a Generals legend. Talking about another guy that could be a Generals legend one day is Chris Orr. Orr has been solid. When he was banged up, the defense looked a little different. Now he came back this past week and he played well. Definitely someone that we can't let him get a lot of hits on Troy, and he can create a turnover or two. We've got to protect the ball. Absolutely have to protect the ball, and we have to execute in the red zone. But we knew that, right? Search bar, where I only did 2 images, got some feedback saying 4 is a little too much. Momentum and together. Momentum. We need to keep this momentum of what the Maulers did against the Michigan Panthers. They dominated right from the jump. You might say it's 19-7. That's fine. That's fine. It doesn't look fancy. It doesn't look like a 38-15 with the Stallions and the Gamblers. That's fine. You could say that all you want, but the momentum is the win, right? The defense creating turnovers, not allowing basically anything all game. The offense doing enough to get in the field goal range. They got to get better with punching it in. Momentum. Together. This team is tight. This team, if you listen to the Boogie interview, this team is very, very, very together, and they need to remain together. Times are going to get tough. Times have been tough. It's week 10 now. We've been through all the teams except one, the one that we share a hotel with, right, and the one that I share facilities with. It's Generals week, and this is a tough matchup. They're kind of built the same way in the sense that they're physically tough and they're well coached. And Mike Riley's got a good program over there, but the Maulers have to remain together and look to overcome. Hammer Finder of the week. 4 Hammer Finders this week. John Tomlinson. Coach Tomlinson, I absolutely love. I really do. I think he has done a great job with the offense, and they've developed, but they've got to get better. The play calling's got to get better in the red zone. They've got to get more aggressive. They should not be able to get the ball to their playmakers like Henny and Gaither in sweeps. Got to find ways to get the ball to these guys in different ways. I know Henny's got a bunch of catches, but we got to get him going, rolling. I hope Bailey recovers. Trey Walker joined the party this week. Josh Simmons with the touchdown catch, right? It just, the play calling, especially in the red zone, needs to get better and take advantage of the strengths that this team has. They have a lot of playmakers at the wide receivers. The tight ends, say what you want. Matty Sabert's a big play all the time, right? Mason Stockey, he's come up with a few plays. There's options here for this Maulers team. Madre London, if you watch the show, I will announce every single time Madre London touches the ball because I think he's a good guy to get the ball in his hand, get the ball to. Madre London led the team in rushing for 2 weeks in a row now. He had 50 yards. I believe that's his first game with 50 yards all season, maybe his second one. We've got to be able to execute the run game, and that comes down with the offensive line. But we have to be able to mix in a passing game that isn't just all underneath stuff. We need to stretch the field a little bit, continue to take care of the ball, but get a little bit more aggressive. This Generals team, it was a close game until the fourth quarter, and then our offense fell apart. We can't let that happen. This is a good defense. And it's up to Coach Tomlinson this week. Troy Williams. Troy is the guy. He unquestionably, since he took over in Michigan, has been the guy, has been the leader. Had a rough go at the Showboats. Everyone did, right? That was probably the worst performance of the Maulers all year. Troy is the guy, and these could be his moments. This is a big game for Troy to execute and to take the team to the playoffs, which would be a huge accomplishment considering that this team started off so slow. This team has a history of, they were 1-9 last year. Let's be honest. I know it's not a long history, but they were 1-9. The offensive line changed a little bit, but the offense weapons remain the same. And now he's getting in the position to put a team in the playoffs. And if you look at Troy's numbers since he took over, he's pretty comparable to the 3, 4, 5, 6 quarterbacks in this league. Case and Magoo might be in front of him, and MBT is kind of floated up and down. But outside of that, Troy might be the fourth best quarterback in this league. Let's get him outside. Let's let him use his legs. He only had 5 carries this week. He was hit a ton. We've got to protect Troy, let him create plays, and I think they got a chance. We'll go with Ray Horton. This is his moment. First time he's a head coach. This is his moment. Big game coach. Last week he executed the team. He even said in the presser, if you go to the presser, he basically was like, well, this team did it. And he was up there with Mangle and I believe Tez and his son, Jaron. And he's like, we've got excellent players up and down. I had the best seat in the house. Ray just got to keep that flow going. You know, that kind of father figure. I know his son's on the staff, but like Ray just seems like he cares about all of his players and he hopes that they execute and he hopes that they control themselves, don't take themselves out of the game off of stupid decisions. And I think this is the moment for Ray. This is a big moment for Ray. Should have probably got an NFL head coaching job at some point. I can't tell you exactly when, but I know he's interviewed for him. He should have gotten a shot. This is his time to shine. Ray has taken his team, and I know everyone's like, well, they're only 3-6. 3-6 is tough in this league. I don't care who you are. The New Jersey Generals, people say, well, Mike Riley, right? Mike Riley is considered a good coach. His team's 3-6, right? Mike Nolan has been an NFL head coach. His team's 3-6. Bart Andrews is respected. His team is 4-5. So like Todd Haley's 5-4. You know what I mean? The league's so tight. What's the difference between 3-6 and 5-4? It's a playoff spot. I get that, but what I'm saying is, it's not indicative of what the coach is capable of. This Ray Horton took a team that was 1-9 last year. A few missing parts, changed parts. Obviously, the next guy, the two players on here are new, and they are on the cusp of, winning a 4th game of the season, which in Maulers history, if you even go back to the 80s days, never happened. So a tip of the hat to the Ray. I hope that this week is his greatest game to be a head coach. I hope that we continue to build here in Pittsburgh with the black and gold. And I just want to appreciate all these players. But Ray, it seems like there's a culture there in Pittsburgh, a little bit more than last year with Kirby, and that's nothing to slight Kirby. I'm not throwing emojis or anything anywhere. I just believe Ray has built a culture there that is capable of winning and advancing. And if you listen to Joel Klatt on the broadcast, he tells you nobody wants to see the Pittsburgh Maulers in the playoffs. Nobody wants to see them. They rather see the Panthers. He didn't call them out. They rather see the Generals. They rather see the Stars. Nobody wants to see these Maulers because the defense is that good and the offense could figure out enough. And finally, Reuben Foster. Reuben Foster had a great first couple weeks, got a little banged up. Kind of been he's been playing well. Obviously, PFF grades him as, I believe, the highest linebacker in the league. But he hasn't had that moment yet, right? Big games are for big players, and Reuben Foster is the biggest name in the league. In my opinion, he was the biggest name if you go based off of his college career. I'm not talking about Case Cookus, who was a USFL legend last year, or Scooby Wright or something. Scooby Wright, I guess, would be close to Reuben based off their college career. Reuben Foster was first-round draft pick. Got another opportunity here in the black and gold. This is the moment. These are the moments. I know Tez is the defensive player of the year. I will continue to bang that drum until my face is blue. But Reuben Foster, these are his moments. This is what he should be capable of, and I completely am excited for Reuben Foster against the New Jersey Generals this week. So it's the week the Hammer Finders of the week. And now, finally, sorry, technical difficulties. Dinner Web, 5 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. I thank you for your support this season. And next week, we'll be previewing the playoffs. Hopefully, my pick is the Maulers and the Stars. I want another Pennsylvania Bowl. I think those games are fun, and I also think both teams are better than teams they're playing this week. I think the Maulers can get the W, and I believe the Stars can beat the Panthers. And if you're following at home, I'm picking the Stallions for this week, and I'm also picking the Breakers for this week. So I think it's going to be Breakers, Stallions, Maulers, Stars. Hold me to it. I don't care. Anyways, thank you for joining Hammer Time, Week 10 edition. Hammer up, hammer down, web out.